Welcome to Bastard Quest. I'm the Game Master Kyle.
I'm Todd.
Corey.
I'm Austin.
We are playing Achtung, Cthulhu. If you're just joining Bastard Quest for the first time, don't start here. Todd, who are you playing today?
Sven.
Austin?
I'm Pierre Walsh, the Canadian.
Corey?
Separately.
I see.
They've shipped.
You are in India, the Grand Hotel in Bombay, recovering from your injuries after Germans, disguised as tourists, with their decorative submachine guns.
Oh.
Well, that's how they got them through customs, decorative.
Oh, okay.
You're all recovering. It's the next day. The Atlantean compass was stolen in the middle of the raging firefight. But fortunately, Operle has a trail. What would you three like to do?
Follow trail.
Okay. Roll your follow trail.
So we know which direction they're going in.
The last vision was of Altaf Chaudhuri and Devika Savarkar getting in a truck with a bunch of Black Sun guys and heading on a road towards Aurangabad, the city of gates.
We go that way. Ho!
You know, it's so handy having a psychic dog as your companion. I can't believe that people haven't been breeding dogs to be psychic for centuries. I mean, we've bred them to hunt, we've bred them to protect, we've bred them to do all sorts of things. Why not psychic?
Oh, don't go in my basement.
Yeah.
Lots of failed experiments.
Psychic dog breeding program not working out, huh?
Man, he just can't tell what's going on the other side of that concrete wall.
Are you doing the Ghostbusters experiment, the shock with the cards?
Yeah.
Also just torturing dogs in his basement. That's dark. You should get help. Okay, so you want to go to Aurangabad, the city of gates. How will you get there? There's trains. There are no flights, really. There's not an airport in Aurangabad. This is the 40s. You could get a car, a horse.
A tank?
Theoretically, that is possible. There are stats for tanks in Achtung, Cthulhu. They're not that fast.
Right. I don't like the idea of train because I know what you would do to us on a train.
We've been doing this podcast for almost, 4 years now? Corey refuses to get on a fucking train.
Not getting on a train, it's a tube of death.
That is often how people refer to them. I've got to take the old tube of death up to Chicago this weekend.
Motorcycles?
Those exist, sure.
How about a car so we can talk?
You could get a car,
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I think we can just get a vehicle, yeah.
play Go Fish on the way.
Yeah. That hadn't been invented yet. Read a history of cards.
Yeah, let me get my history of cards book. Go Fish, invented 1967 by Walter Fish.
Aldous Huxley invented it. Guys, I got it. Gotta check this out.
This will save the future.
This is what I'm going to be known for.
It's literal fish.
So you could get a car from Lieutenant Daniel Oliver, your Bombay District Southern Command contact, the Bombay Grenadiers. You could just go steal one. That might not be the best idea.
Yeah, why don't we just ask for one?
Yeah. We go see Sergeant Hertz.
I like Major Enterprise.
Ooh.
I like John National.
Fuck y'all, I'm going to Dick Alamo.
I remember that.
Sometimes the jokes are just for us. You visit Lieutenant Daniel Oliver, based on Patreon member Daniel Oliver,
Thanks, Daniel.
at the base of the Bombay Grenadiers. It's a full military compound. He's in an office with, one of those wire desk fans that are in every World War II movie.
With ribbons.
Yep. Good morning, chaps.
G'day.
I managed to repair most of the damage with local officials from your firefight last night.
Oh, yeah, thanks for doing that for us. Hey, we need a car to get to Aurangabad.
Fantastic. Why?
Army businesses.
But you're not actually in the army.
Yeah, but will you help us?
I suppose I might. Why do you need a car, and what sort of vehicle?
Well, we discovered it's the next location for our mission.
Ah, I see. The plot is moving that direction, is it?
It does.
MacGuffin?
Ah, my favorite kind.
We're squarely in Act 2.
Ah,
I don't know why I was British just then.
should I go along so that the baddies have someone to kill that could cause a certain amount of distress?
Fair dinkum.
All right, I'll drive.
Yes, just make sure we have a cooler of ice, please.
So, Lieutenant Oliver gets a Ma-Deuce, big truck. You all load in. Are you guys making any preparations before you head to Aurangabad?
I think we've already got the equipment that we want.
Does anybody need any more guns or stabbing things?
Yeah.
I literally could not have more guns. All of my slots are full, and I've still got some C4 left over from the last mission.
Sven's preparation is to silently communicate with the Norse gods.
Oh, what does that entail?
They sound suspiciously like Operle.
Yeah.
Yes, Sven, you're a good boy, says me, Odon.
So you get on the road to Aurangabad, driving through the hinterlands of India, towards this so-called city of gates, up in the mountains. Because remember, your ultimate goal is the Ellora Caves and the Kalasantha Temple. Or at
Obviously,
least,
yes.
that's what some of your intelligence pointed to.
Yes.
Where's everyone? Who's in the back? Is anyone up front with Lieutenant Oliver?
Yeah, that'd be Pierre. Probably doing some of the navigation and looking through a map of Aurangabad itself.
Okay.
Yeah, Operle and Sarah in the back. Operle being outside to assist with any smelling. Smelling for dangers and such.
And Pierre is trying to see if he can actually go ahead and locate that temple that they're going to find the caves inside.
All right. What skill are you using, Austin?
I would imagine this is going to be reason and probably observation or academia.
I think academia, since you're working with written materials.
All right. I have a focus in linguistics. Could I apply that to this to help
Sure.
find the naming conventions necessary to find the right temple?
Yeah, Lieutenant Oliver gave you maps that are all in Indian.
Okay. It's going to be a total target number of 11. With a focus, though, my crit rank goes up to 3. There's a 15, but a 2.
Well, then you would earn a momentum.
Okay.
So there's a series of mountains to the northeast of Aurangabad. A variety of cave temples are detailed there. You get the general direction of where you need to go. Now, which one would be your target? That is not specifically listed. Like it doesn't say Kalaslampa Temple here, parentheses, Atlantean artifact, or anything of that nature.
Well, can Operle smell and try to track?
Well, you could once you get there. You'll have to pass through Aurangabad.
Okay, the city itself,
Yes.
which is going to take forever because it's just gates. Opening and closing, tolls.
A lot of tolls.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, I was just communing with the great god Odin, and he said he wanted belly scritches.
Well, you better get him.
I love the idea of Operle slowly indoctrinating Sven
He's going to
as an
convert him.
evangelical.
Yeah.
Now, you obviously know that the Black Sun, we're heading towards Aurangabad. Whether they know precisely where they're going, you don't know. Of course, obviously, they intend to use the Atlantean compass. You reach Aurangabad. It is a much less modern city than Bombay. Being here in the deep interior of India, it is a very old-style city. It doesn't have electric lines, telegraphs, or airplanes, running water. It does have a lot of stone and gates and people doing farming the old-fashioned way with their karate chops. It's how they used to do it.
How they had to harvest.
Yeah.
We're doing corn foo. I'm sorry.
Pierre's just staring out the window with the biggest grin at all the digging.
Guys, this is so cool.
And as you get closer, Lieutenant Oliver says, well, so where precisely am I going here? Should we stop and get a bite to eat? I'm a bit peckish. It's tea time.
Yeah, we might be able to ask around, see if we can find these actual caves.
Well, I feel like if we can find the Black Sun guys and try to trail them,
Oh,
because they've got the compass,
they do.
so they're going to go to the right one.
That's true.
Of course, they're 6 days ahead of us.
There. Oh, is it dog time?
They are exactly forever ahead of us.
Infinite time has passed since they stole the artifact and the now. The downsides of a dog psychic.
Well, I'm sure that that's not a regular thing for a truckload of Nazis to come driving through. So, I mean, we can ask around and see if anybody saw them or, whatnot.
Sure. Who are you going to ask? Once you're in the city, it's these stone buildings, temples, Hindu temples, people walking around, farmers, merchants, ascetics.
Wait, stop the car! Operle jumps out and rolls around on a dead flamingo. Jumps back in. Jumps back in. Let's roll.
He can't be tracked now. Yeah, so is Sven going to get out and ask?
Well, Lieutenant Daniel was talking about being hungry. We could stop and get some food from street vendors or a restaurant or whatnot. And
Sure. So there's this Indian street vendor. He's got this, I don't know if Indian street vendors were a thing in the 40s, but in this world they are.
okay.
He's got a gas stove. He's cooking something that smells amazing. Old Indian man, big beard. Yeah!
Okay.
I seen some weirdos. You want some chicken tikka?
Yes, very much. Could you tell what direction the truck was going in?
Yeah, I could. And he points across the street. There's this big German-made truck. This black canvas. And a clearly German man dressed as an Indian.
Guys, I found it.
Here's our ode to George Lucas. The bar is the Qui-Gon Jinn. Got it. G-I-N.
Yep.
I also got crepes with Nutella on them.
Thank you, mate.
Yeah. So you do see down the street the truck that Operle saw in his remote viewing. There's not a German man dressed as an Indian, but there is a German man outside of it, or a European-looking fellow that is disguised as a British army soldier.
Okay.
And given that Lieutenant Oliver knows there are not any British army units in Aurangabad.
Okay. I think the safer way to try to track them, Operle is going to go near the truck like a normal street dog
Sure.
and get a good sniff of everything on it.
All those German shepherds
Yeah.
in India in this
Yeah.
time. It's just overrun with wild packs of German shepherds.
Well, these guys wouldn't know what kind of dogs are native to India.
No, they're morons.
Yeah.
They thought joining the Black Sun was a good career move.
Sure. So Operle's going to get a good whiff of it so we can track them more at a distance instead of risk being spotted.
Okay.
Because we also kind of stand out.
A bit.
The Canadian, the Norwegian, and the Australian in
Right.
the hinterlands of India.
Right. The paleness of Sven's nude torso.
It just occurred to me that there's two groups of white people clandestinely moving through India, one of them following the other.
Right.
And all these
Both trying to be incognito.
and clearly all the Indian people around are just watching this happen.
Yeah.
Like, are they being secret? Do they know?
Everywhere shirtless Sven goes is like he's so white he's causing people to see prisms.
Or just creating rainbows.
Sven walks outside and some guy yells, "The beacons of Gondor have been lit!"
All right, Corey, I think the key here is you getting close enough to the truck without being detected.
Okay.
After all, the Germans do know there's a psychic dog that they have to watch out for. Your reputation is growing among the ranks of the Fuhrer's dark forces.
So how many Germans are outside the truck?
Just one. He's standing at the back, smoking Turkish cigarettes.
Operle is going to use thought sending. The psychic can send their thoughts to anyone within medium range. This is the equivalent to a few seconds of speech. The recipient may respond in kind. This takes place instantly.
Okay.
And it's a will and observation to cast it. So I'm looking at a target of 14, and thought sending is difficulty 1.
What is the cost on this?
It's 1 drain.
Noted.
That is 2 successes.
So you got a momentum,
Yeah.
and you can send thoughts into this man's mind.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll your drain so we see what that is before you
Okay.
do this, or your cost, rather. So roll a challenge die.
3.
That's nothing.
So Operle does speak German.
Yeah.
He enters into this man's mind.
The guy is thinking, oh, when I get back to Germany, I'm going to get some apple strudel. I'm going to take 2 sausages, and I'm going to put some on the apple strudel. Then I'm going to put another apple strudel on top of that. Then I'm going to pour pancake batter over it. And I will deep fry it, and I will put it in Hans's lunchbox. And he will not know it is there, and he will go, mein Gott, what is this? And we shall laugh.
You there. Enough of your sausage daydreaming.
Uncle Walter?
Go polish the tires.
Jesus? Rudolf Hess?
Schnell!
Ah! He begins immediately polishing the tires. He does not know who is speaking to him, but he's very afraid.
Okay, Operle rushes up and smells the shit out of that vehicle.
You have it sent, locked in your dog matrix. It displaces a number of cat scents.
Okay, so Operle goes back, alerts the squad that he's got the scent.
All right.
And I think we should hang back and wait for the truck to drive away.
Yeah, you guys are across the street 10 feet away, hiding on the other side of your truck, looking conspiratorially, because that's how they would shoot it in a movie.
Yeah.
Wait, are we all like looking around the truck with one head stacked on top of the other? You know?
Absolutely.
Yes. You
the
are
fucking shitty Beatles.
You are definitely mystery machining the truck. So this guy's polishing the tires, and the others come out. You see Altaf Chaudhuri, the tall, well-dressed Indian gentleman, Devika Savarkar, the dancer and singer. They're both dressed in, like safari outfits, right? Like people in the 40s would wear when they were going to go off on an adventure. Khakis and little hats. And then a bunch of German guys dressed as British soldiers. And they all pile in the truck. Chaudhuri castigates the man for polishing the tires when he should be doing guard duty. The man says, "But the voice of Rudolf Hess told me to." And then they start driving away.
All right. I say we try to keep them in sight, but we can always rely on Operle if we lose them.
We do not need sight. I have the nose of eyes.
I do understand that.
He's such a good dog.
He is a good boy.
I'm a good boy.
The Germans drive out of Aurangabad to the northwest. You follow them at a great distance. You don't even bother to keep them in sight. You drive past a variety of large farms and then into scrubby woodland, the foothills of the mountains. You see a lot of local wildlife that is, at this point, present in India, but none of them come to mind currently. Elephants. There are elephants.
Yep.
And tigers.
Red pandas.
Red pandas.
And baskets everywhere with cobras popping out of them.
Yeah. You see a bunch of red pandas riding an elephant, chasing a tiger.
Operle actually behaves himself, but Sven barks like a motherfucker.
Wait, stop the car! Oh, wait, it's alive and not rotting.
Eventually, you are driving along the edge of an escarpment. And above, you can see temples and shrines dug into the side of this massive cliff face. Eventually, you turn a corner, and there is the German truck in the distance, sitting at the end of the road, the literal end of the road, not moving. Who has the best observation?
I have an observation of 3.
1.
Well, Operle. He's got a 4.
Okay.
Okay.
Corey, you can roll your observation for Operle.
Okay.
Plus reason.
Well, let me ask you this, Kyle. Can I do this smellingly?
Nope.
What's your reason, Corey, for Operle?
5. It's terrible.
Okay, I have a
He's
reason.
a dog.
I have a reason of 8. Can I look around?
Absolutely.
That's a 7 and a 3, so 2 successes.
The back of the truck canvas is pulled, but something tells you it's empty. They went on foot from here.
All right, perhaps the footprints?
Yeah, and there's a sign that says trail, and it's pointing up. It's got an arrow.
Well, can Operle smellingly try to track them? Because they're just covered in the scent of that truck.
Interesting.
This is the 40s. They would be stinking of diesel.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
In Australia, we pour gasoline on the outside of the car. Let it soak.
Jesus Christ.
Everything's different down there.
Well, you go up the trail, and there's a set of showers
Oh,
and
no.
washing machines. There's a bunch of Indian women. Would you like us to wash your clothes like we did for the Germans? No.
There's the Dr. No radiation scrubbing chamber.
It just hoses you down. No, yeah, you could follow them with the sense of smell. They would smell like truck fumes.
Okay.
All right. Before they leave, Pierre is going to hop up in the back of the truck and dig around to see if there are any black sun robes.
These are Germans, Austin. They wear uniforms.
Are there any of those?
There are a number of Black Sun uniforms, which are very similar to SS, but somehow blacker, stacked neatly
Gotcha.
in a trunk.
So, yeah, I'm going to take some of those with us. Hey, folks, you guys want to put these uniforms on?
Oh, yes, I love a good disguise. I was actually going to dress up like a mime again, but this is much better.
Yeah, I agree. I think this will help us be a little bit more incognito.
Do they have a size -4?
Nah, but Sarah, you can pretend to be the officer in charge of this little unit.
Okay.
The last time I saw a fresh Black Sun uniform like this was in Norway, when I ripped the heart out of their leader and hung all the troops from the trees as a warning to the rest. It was the best day of my life.
Yeah, it's been a little while since I'd heard about the trees.
All right, Corey. You're going to have to roll for Operle's noggin nostril.
Okay. So I think this is going to be insight and survival.
Oh, okay. That works for me.
He's got a focus in survival of tracking. Does that apply, Kyle?
Yes.
Is that good?
Yeah, that makes sense. You're tracking. Difficulty 43.
Oh.
No, it's 2.
Okay. Operle has a special rule called Keen Senses. Reduce the difficulty of skill tests to detect smells by 2.
Oh,
Wow.
well.
I'm great.
Then you need to roll success.
Okay. Insight is 12. Survival is 3. 2 successes.
Okay. Build some momentum.
Okay.
Cool.
2 momentum, I suppose, technically. The trail winds up into the cliffs. You come to the top of one. You're still in the trees a bit, and you can see ahead of you a ravine. You can hear the rush of water. And there's, of course, because this is in India in a pulp fiction type genre, there's a rickety rope bridge.
Oh, so it's not a overdosing heroin addict.
There is an overdosing heroin addict performing some maintenance on the bridge.
Right. 7 cars with guys shot in the face in the back.
No, there's a rickety rope bridge swinging in the wind, which is very fierce for some reason at this particular scene. The water from seasonal rains is raging, and far on the other side of the bridge, you can see a number of Germans in their black sun uniforms, smoking cigarettes, talking. Not really on guard, but obviously posted here as sentries.
But otherwise deserted on the other side of the bridge.
Yes,
Okay.
though Operle does smell something odd coming from that side of the river. It smells like a cat, like a German cat that may be a Nazi.
A Nazi cat?
Yeah. Look,
Obviously.
cats can obviously be evil.
I just assume every cat is a Nazi. I got 2 of them. I'm thinking Sven should probably draw his bow and arrow and try to take them out. That would be the quietest way to do it.
Okay.
How many of them are there?
3.
Okay.
Hey, what if we each take one? I got the trank gun.
And I've got a boomerang.
Silence.
I'm from Australia.
So it is long range.
Yes.
This is a ridiculously long rope bridge.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, the bow and arrow's only medium range.
Yeah, I have no long range weapons either.
Well, you can use weapons above or below their range. It's just more difficult.
Right.
So what is the range of the bow and arrow?
Medium.
So that means a long range shot would be 2 difficulty.
Okay. It's worth a shot, I think.
Okay, Sarah's boomerang is also medium range.
All right.
So it's just going to be 2 difficulty instead of 1.
Correct.
Okay. Well, Sarah does have the sharpshooter talent. When you take aim before making a range attack, I've done none of these things. Like, it shouldn't have been as difficult to fight those Nazis early on. When you take the aim minor action before making a range attack, the first bonus d20 you buy costs 0 momentum, and the attack gains piercing.
I also have this talent.
Cool. So are you going to shoot as well, Austin?
Yeah, although I may just use my 1911 45
Okay.
because a trank gun dart is not making it across this river
What's the range on it?
close.
That would be a hard shot.
Yeah.
But if you made the shot, think of how amazing it would be.
Yeah, but we've got all this momentum just sitting here.
So Austin and I both have sharpshooter, so we get 3 20-sided. And if we all aim, we can re-roll one of them.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, what's the range on the 45, Austin?
The 45 is close range.
Okay.
So
all right.
I am going to use a momentum to add one more d20.
I also am going to use a momentum for an additional d20.
So I'm going to be rolling a total of 4 d20.
Fuck it, we got 3. Sarah's going to roll an extra 2.
Okay. So, Austin, it'll be difficulty 3 for you.
Yep. Although I've got my free reroll, and I do have a focus in handguns for fighting. And my total target number is 15.
Sarah's coordination in fighting is 15.
Sven's coordination and fighting is 14.
Now, Austin, if you want to use the trank gun, that would mean you're all using essentially silence options.
I guess I could say that since they both have close range.
Yeah. Because the boomerang and the bow and arrow, very quiet.
Yeah.
45?
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that.
Not quiet.
Who fucking A? Sarah rolled a 1, a 2, a 4, and a 7, so 5 successes.
Wow.
I rolled a 2, a 3, a 10, and a 12, so 6 successes.
Jesus.
I rolled a 7, a 2, and an 18, which I am going to re-roll because I aimed.
Excellent.
And that's a 6.
Nice.
So that's 3 successes, Kyle.
Okay, so Corey and Todd, your difficulty was 2. Austin, yours was 3. You all made it. You all got a lot of momentum. which you can add to the pool or you can use on damage.
Right. I'm going to add one of mine to the pool and give myself another D6 there.
I'm also going to add one of mine to the pool and give myself 2 extra D6 because the tranq gun only has 2 effects.
All right.
I'm going to use my additional success to get another damage die.
Excellent. Then, gentlemen, roll your damage.
All right.
So the boomerang is 2 challenge die, but it'll be 4 now.
The bow and arrow does 3 piercing, so 4.
Yeah, and I now have piercing because of my sharpshooter.
Excellent.
And so I'll be rolling a total of 4.
Now, if you guys want to give me some threat, I could each give you an extra die.
You can go straight to fucking hell, Kyle.
I probably am.
Well, I had 1 3 and 1 4, but the others were 2 5s. Also count for effect, but with the stun built in, I'm actually rolling 2 damage with 3 stun.
Ooh.
I rolled 1 4. The others were a 1, a 5, and a 6. So that's 3 damage to effect.
And what's the effect on the bow and arrow?
Piercing.
And I got a 5 and a 6, so 2 damage to effect, which is piercing.
An arrow streaks across the gap, slams into a German eyeball, followed by a boomerang that sweeps around lazily until it also slams into another German eyeball. Then a guy takes a tranq dart to the jugular and goes, "Oh, my jugular!" Overly, I can call for distress, but the toxins, they're pouring into my vein through my jugular, and I will quickly be... Passes out. Stepping from around a tree on the other side of the ravine is a German cat. He's got a little cap on. And Operle hears something in his head. "Hello, my friend.
Oh, no.
You're not the only psychic animal here. I am the German cat, Peter.
Hello, Peter.
What you and your friends doing? Do you think to stop them from going after this latest Atlantean artifact? Well, you'll fail.
We don't think it. We do it.
But how are you going to get across the stream? There's a rickety bridge. Oh, someone might cut it with their claws when you try to cross.
That would take days, you fool.
I have a knife.
And I have a brain that can make flames. And Operle is going to spontaneous combust Peter.
Oh, no.
Nice.
Holy fucking shit.
Oh, no. What's the range on spontaneous combustion?
So, spontaneous combustion, the psychic nominates an object or creature within close range. I nominate cat. All in favor? So, the range is close range, but you can spend 2 momentum, which we just generated some, to make it medium range. The difficulty is normally 1, but I assume since this is long range, it would be 2 like our previous attack.
Well, it is long range, meaning you would have to move to get to medium range.
Okay.
So I'm going to say you've got to move faster than the cat can cut, as it uses telekinetics to hold a knife.
As we hear a shing and a samurai sword comes out.
Wow, that's an awesome idea.
Damn it, Austin.
So are we looking at like a opposed roll here?
I think this will be an opposed roll. Yeah.
Okay. Operle has an 11 in agility and a 2 in athletics.
Okay. So he's got an 8 in agility. Well, this one I guess would be his psychic power more than agility. So he's will and observation, and I've got some threat. So I'm going to spend some. I'm going to spend a bunch. I'm going to spend 3 to give him 2 more dice, 2 more 20s.
Cal, can we assist in this?
Are you going to hurl Operle?
So Pierre has a spy toolkit among his possessions, one of which is a camera, which in the 40s cannot be used without a flash.
Ooh.
I want to see if Pierre can trigger the flash and momentarily blind or otherwise distract the cat long enough to give Operle an advantage.
Potentially distract him. I don't think you could blind him. It is the middle of the day.
Yeah, and this is, we're across a long-ass bridge, but I just want something visual to capture this, of course, frantic cat's attention.
Sure.
I can also bless Operle with the swiftness of Slippy.
Ooh.
Absolutely.
I think that's more relevant.
Yep.
Okay, so the swiftness of Sleipnir, the 8-legged horse, affectionately known as Slippy.
Yes.
It's a difficulty 2. It does cost Sven 3 drain.
Ooh.
The spellcaster and any allies within close range may immediately move up to 2 zones.
Oh, that
Wow.
renders this contest kind of moot, does it not?
Well, if he pulls it off, yeah, he could get to close with the spell.
And if I spend 2 momentum, Each affected character may take an additional minor action for free on their next turn,
Oh, interesting.
which would go to Operle, obviously.
Okay. All right. So, Todd, roll your rune weaving.
Okay, the skill to use is survival. Sven's survival is a 1 and his insight is 10, so we're going for target number 11 here, and I'm going to spend a momentum to get an extra d20.
Cool, because Operle won't need to use the 2 momentum to get closer.
Yeah. That's an 11, a 10, and a 14, so 2 successes.
Okay. So, roll your drain.
Ooh, that's a 4 and a 3 and a 6. So 1 drain, 1 effect.
Okay. So, you take 1 stress and drain, so your total amount of stress will be reduced by 1.
Got it.
The power of slipping propels Operle like a missile
Horse dog!
across the rickety bridge. Not quite to the other side, but very close. Peter reacts with some alarm by jumping straight up into the air.
Operle attempts to spontaneous combust him out of the sky.
He is attempting to samurai sword the bridge.
Just as he takes his swing, a camera flash erupts across the bridge.
Oh, it's a paparazzi.
Yeah, smile, you hoser. Fucking cat.
All praise be to Slippy!
All right, I'm going to roll my 1 die for... I'm going to call this coordination, and Kyle, what should I use here for the camera?
This would be a deceive. You're trying to distract, so persuasion.
Okay, that's a 3. So 14 total. There's an 11, so that's 1 success.
All right. I'm going to roll for Peter. Oh, there's a 1 and a 3 and a 6. So I have 5 successes.
Okay, I've already got 1 from Austin. So I'm assuming this opposed roll is no longer the agility and athletics.
No, now it's spontaneous combustion versus cat telekinesis.
Got it.
So essentially, a bad thing could happen to both of you, which is great. Because before, if he had won the roll, he would cut the bridge, and you wouldn't get a chance to spontaneously combust him.
Right. So I've got 3 die. I'm going to go ahead and spend 3 momentum to get 2 more. Got the 1 success from Austin. So as opposed roll, I either got to match it or do I have to beat it?
So what we'll say is, if you match it, they both happen.
Okay.
If you beat it, you spontaneously combust him before he can cut the bridge.
Okay. So I believe it's insight and resilience. So I'm looking at a target 13 here.
Okay.
Well, Operle's going to spend a fortune to make one of them a crit.
Okay, so you're at 3.
Right. Need 3 more, and I'm rolling 4 die.
Now, do you want to give me any threat?
How many threats do you have?
I have 1.
You spent a bunch.
I will give you 1 threat
Okay, so that means you get
for your birthday.
another D20.
Okay, so I'm back to 5. Okay, my target number was 13. Got a 14, a 16, a 6, a 5, and a 2.
Whoa.
So 3 successes.
Fire!
Nice.
Just barely.
So damage is my power, which is 3 plus 1
Yep.
physical stress with the persistent 4 effect.
If you had 2 momentum to spend, you could give it piercing 2.
I know, we don't have that.
You have a momentum and you could give me a threat.
No.
I just want you to succeed.
That's a 1, a 2, and 2 6s. So 5 damage, 2 effects.
Yeah, so that'll be persistent. So he's going to take 5 damage every round for a couple of rounds,
4.
which would be bad because he is, at the end of the day, a cat. He doesn't have the most robust frame.
One of the most flammable creatures out there.
I've always said that about cats.
Yeah,
I know that for a fact. Just check my basement.
it's fucked up.
How does this look, Corey? What happens?
So we zoom in on Operle's face. The background behind him goes dark as his fur begins blowing backwards as if a great wind is blasting on him. His eyes widen, sweat trickles down his brow.
Which is super impressive for a dog.
Yeah, actually, he pants real hard and says, "Back off!" Firestarteringly.
Oh, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, Drew Barrymoreingly.
Appropriate.
And the cat bursts into flames.
Oh, no! My supple feline flesh is fire coming from within! I will run now into the hinterland where I will lick my wounds until next time, dog! Peter disappears in the underbrush on fire.
For 4 more rounds, so he'll probably die.
He's going to create the largest wildfire in India in the Second World War.
Oh.
And then Some distance down the cliff, you see this burning cat leap out of the underbrush down into the river and splash far below. Was his flame extinguished? Did he die? Probably not.
No, it's psychic flames. Come on.
But the way to the Kal Santha temple is clear. Groggily, that one German, I'm awake now, and then you guys bludgeon him to death or something.
So we've successfully crossed the bridge as well.
You've crossed the bridge.
All right.
Operle's sitting on the other side of the bridge smoking a cigarette and goes, "What took you so long?" and flicks the cigarette, adding to the great wildfire of...
Many miles away, there's Indian villagers fighting a fire. What could have caused this? Burning cat runs out of the underbrush.
Oh, there it is.
An Indian artist starts drawing a picture of a bear in a hat, and thus Smokey is born.
Oh, yeah.
So before we move on,
Yeah.
Pierre takes the one piece of plastique he has left, and he just slaps that sucker right there on the post for the bridge, along with about a 1 foot length of fuse for a quick escape plan.
Ah, I gotcha. I thought you were just going to go ahead and preemptively blow up your only means of escape. I thought it was a great plan.
They'll never expect it.
Ha! We have cut off our only way out of here. Wait. You follow the trail using Operle's canine senses, and high above you, at the top of the escarpment, you see the outline cut into the stone of the Kalasantha temple. No doubt, inside is the Atlantean artifact you seek. Hopefully, Black Sun doesn't already have it in their possession. But we'll have to find out next week on another episode of Bastard Quest, Shadows of Atlantis, Achtung, Cthulhu, India!
Fun as always. I assume we're getting close to the end of this adventure.
Yeah, essentially the temple is the end goal of the India arc, and
Right.
within the Atlantean artifact that you seek. But I love Shadows of Atlantis. I've had a lot of fun running this campaign. I like Achtung Cthulhu, this Modifius edition, very, very much.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, 2D20 is just, man, it's so intuitive and it fits so many different situations. I'm sure that's in large part to the skill of our GM, but it's a great system.
Yeah, and if you need 2D20 or 20D20 or an endless amount of D20s, in addition to other die, you need to go to NorseFoundry.com. They got all the dice you could possibly need there. They're like little rollable works of art. They're beautiful. And when you're at the checkout, make sure you enter promo code CHAM. That's CHAM, CHAM, and you'll receive the 10% Bastard Quest discount at NorseFoundry.com. And we also have a new sponsor this week, guys.
Oh, no.
And what happened?
Look,
What is going on?
I don't want to get into it, but mistakes were made.
Jesus.
But we would like to welcome our new sponsor this week, Tacos and Tarps. Guys, you ever been tarp shopping and thought this would be much better with a taco?
No.
Yeah.
Then Tacos and Tarps is here to help. That's Tacos and Tarps. It's next to the farmer's market.
Nice.
I could use a taco right now. I don't know which tarp to buy.
There's nowhere to sit. How can I eat this taco comfortably? Wait, I'll lay down my tarp.
And as always, thanks to all of you who listen, who leave reviews, who engage with us on social media, who subscribe if you're a Patreon member. We probably talk to you on Discord.
Thanks for listening. I'm Kyle.
I'm Todd.
Corey.
I'm Austin.